Right now, there is a massive demand for AI education, yet so few channels out there are actually teaching you how you can sell this to people out there who want to learn more about AI. In this video, I'm going to show you how to take your domain expertise, mix it with AI, and turn it into an offer that scales ridiculously fast. Let's get into it. So straight out the doors here, when I talk about domain expertise, I don't want you to think that I'm talking about work experience. Those are two very different things. What domain expertise means is that you're an expert within that domain. It could be content creation, it could be sales, whatever that is. The difference between domain expertise and work experience is that obviously you have taken your domain expertise and applied it to work. So all you're getting from that is some form of credibility from an established business. Obviously, that would increase your value, but don't worry, for those of you that don't have any of that work experience yet, this exact model still works for you. So the starting theory here is quite simple. We take our domain expertise, which is our deep industry context, our real workflow experience, or building specific things within this domain, and taking all of our knowledge and our proven processes that we have either done for ourselves or for businesses historically to make them more money or achieve a specific goal within this domain. We then take all of that and we bundle it up with AI, so we're essentially amplifying our own intelligence and our own experience to the point where we can get a repeatable workflow that is reliable for a business, but a lot faster. So we're augmenting domain expertise. To me, this is the highest leverage thing you can do right now, and it forms the backbone of everything we're about to talk about in this video. And this brings us neatly into the 5-stage funnel. Now, after points 1 and 2, what you do is entirely up to you. I'll give you some ideas of what you can do, but this isn't some static thing that you rigidly need to follow, except for points 1 and 2, because those are the obvious entry points and how we get through to the rest of the funnel. The first thing over here being an event. Now, depending on your experience level, that would depend on whether you're giving this thing away for free or whether you're going to be charging for it. For me, after 12 years working in some of the biggest companies in the world, I would never ever do a free event anymore. Those days are past me. But if you're just starting out and you have the domain expertise like I mentioned, but you don't have any of that credibility behind you, doing this for free is really a no-brainer because it automatically establishes credibility for you. By default, humans already trust people in person more than they would online, especially with everybody claiming that everyone on YouTube is a guru. But there are several other reasons we want to do this kind of thing in person, and that is because we captivate their attention. They can't just close a browser tab. It's not like it's a YouTube live stream where they get bored and just go back to looking at the latest Labubu collection. They're in the room with you over here. They're going to sit till the end of the 90 minutes to see what all of this is about, because they also came all the way there. So as long as you make it engaging and valuable, then you will keep them in the room. Second point here, this is a live Q&A, so they can ask you questions in real time, human to human, and get that feedback that they need. This increases your trust along with everything else that we're doing in here, which, if you know, for sales, trust is the only thing that is ever going to close a sale. That is what we are trying to convert over here, their attention into trust to a sale. And that brings us into our third point, having a real life handshake, seeing someone in the room, that increases trust automatically, like I mentioned earlier, as opposed to somebody who's online. The fourth and best part of this is that you can build actual relationships with these people, which not only increases that trust, but it also disarms them more. The more that they learn about you, the more that they find they might have in common with you, that increases your trust, which increases your leverage. But it's also a great way to make new friends, and friends make the world go round because these guys are in places that you might want to be in. But the benefit is obvious. Beyond working here and trying to sell something, building genuine relationships will really help you in this space and in your personal life. So there's a lot of benefit for actually doing it from that perspective. Point 5, like I said, people are tired of the AI slop, the AI fatigue, running around everywhere giving them advice when they would rather have somebody lead the way for them, especially in person. And then finally, the benefit of this is that your room is self-selecting. If they've chosen to be in the room, whether it's for free or whether they paid for this thing, they're taking the time to leave their little room and come to wherever you're hosting this event. So that's already a good sign that these people are more than just curious. Because if someone takes the time to come all of the way to see you, they're going to be far more engaged. Cool, so we know we need to host a live event, but how the hell do we do that and what's involved in it? I think for the rest of this video, we need to anchor ourselves in one of our experts over here. Let's just go with this 12-year sales leader at the top over here, who's going to be hosting a live event as part of his lead magnet to get into a much larger organization later on and do an AI native transformation project for them. So before his workshop, he would create an inventory of whatever it is that he needed to do. He might have 10 steps in here. And at the first live event that is either free or costs maybe $100 or more, he would choose 1, 2, or 3 things that he might want to take these people through as a part of their local transformation. So generally that could be something like teaching them how to use Claude Cowork because it's more user-friendly. And then as a part of learning Claude Cowork, he might teach them how to use skills because those are the fundamentals for automating any workflows or processes that businesses actually need nowadays. And then the most common one for salespeople is that they want automated lead gen and prospecting and things like that. So he might say, cool, in those 90 minutes or 2 hours, we're going to cover all of that. And by the time you leave this place, not only will you know exactly how to do that, but you'll walk away with a workflow that you can use in your business today. And it obviously doesn't have to be that. That's just a really good starting point. On this list that you make of everything that would generally have been done as part of a sales transformation, you can pick and choose what you want. Which brings us into the next slide of what actually makes the room buy. We've got them in the room now. We know exactly what we're going to be giving them in this mini transformation, which in this case is that sales and lead gen workflow plus the knowledge of co-work and skills. So you want to make sure that you are not doing a slide deck here. Of course, slides will form a part of it here and there, but the more live you can make this thing, the more tangible that you can make it and people getting their hands dirty, the better it is for you, because then it becomes an experience and not just a presentation. Like I mentioned, the second point here is to make sure that they leave with a problem solved, not just the education piece, because people can find that stuff online. They need to leave with something they can take back to a larger group of people, some of their friends, maybe a business that they're working in, to show them, oh my God, I went to this presentation, this guy's awesome, look at what we did in 90 minutes. Again, this whole thing is just a lead magnet. It's a way to boost your trust, your leverage, and to gain traction into the companies that you would otherwise never get into. Something to note here that's extremely important, don't feel like you need to gatekeep anything from anyone and put it behind some stupid paywall. This event, especially if you do not have experience, is your one way into those companies. So give as much value as you possibly can in that time frame. And like I said, if you can back that up with a cool experience afterwards, like drinks, getting to know one another, maybe playing table tennis or whatever it is that people do nowadays, that's a really good way to enforce everything that they've learned and build a more personal relationship. Once we've done that, we need to make sure that we have named the next step. When people leave this event, they should know exactly what is going to happen next, where they can find you. Do you have a community? Is there a way that they can engage with you beyond whatever just happened inside this group meeting? Give them a clear direction, and the easier it is for them to do that, the better it is for you. That's usually going to be with a QR code that takes them to a landing page or to a community, whatever. They scan it, they have it forever, they have all of your details, and it also signs them up to a newsletter or an email list, whatever you've got going for yourself, so that you can keep them informed after the event. You obviously also want to make sure that you are following up after the event. We'll get into that in just a second. But make sure you absolutely do not try and sell a single thing to anyone in this room. The goal here is not to sell. All of this stuff that you are doing between building relationships, giving them massive value, and actually solving problems for them, that builds the trust. That builds everything we need to make a sale. Think about it. When you see somebody doing something that you wish you knew how to do, doing it very well, and then giving it away for free, those are all the principles that convert automatically. So if these people see that, they don't need to be sold to. They are already sold. They want more if you've given them an amazing event and solved their problems. Your only job now is step 3, to make it very clear how they can get more out of you. And that brings us on to step 2, which is the 48-hour follow-up. So day 1, the first thing that you want to do after your event is make sure that you send them a recap of everything that happened, maybe even send them a recording. Side note here, really good to record this kind of thing because it improves your online credibility when you're doing public speaking events in the real world. You can also use it for all forms of content. So you could put it on YouTube, you could cut it onto shorts, put it on Instagram, YouTube shorts, whatever. It gives you a lot of content that you can piggyback off of. Hey, I taught all of these people in person. Come on round to the next one. It serves a dual marketing purpose between the people that you just taught and the people that you will teach one day. But back to this, like I said, you need to make sure that you're sending them everything they need, not just where to find you, but how they can progress through the pipeline and get more things out of you in the future. That all happens here. But on day 1, you never want to upsell them anything. Don't offer them anything else. Just keep giving them reinforced value. Any guides that you might have promised them throughout the talk that you just did, skills, whatever that they might find valuable, goes into your day 1 recap. Now, whatever happens from day 3 afterwards is entirely to your own custom pipeline, whatever it is that you've got going on. If your entire goal was just to get them into a higher ticket community or something like that, where they pay you a yearly fee of like $2,000 or whatever it is, your offer would obviously change over here. I'm just using the audit offer as an example. It's interchangeable. The point being over here, though, is not to sell them something. Don't say, pay me $5,000 for this audit. I'm going to audit your business. Again, that will just burn all the credibility that you just built. You again offer them something free over here. An audit is a really good way to get this done because it is another foot into a door, perhaps a door inside the business that they work in. So one thing you could do is a 30-minute discovery call where you go through an audit of a specific pod within their business. Could be the acquisition pod, aka how do they get clients? And you would go through there and talk about some aspects or challenges that they're facing within their business on how to get clients at the moment. You can find automation opportunities in there where AI would help them solve that problem. And again, give them free value on that call. It costs you absolutely nothing and it builds you a ton of more goodwill because now you've done that live event. That same person will be on this call along with whoever else they invited to this call to see how awesome you are from that live event. Once you've done that, you now have 2 forms of trust and credibility, plus you're giving them more value up front. And then you take them further in this 5-touch follow-up to the point where you show them what a full audit would look like, and then perhaps into transformation or education, whatever it is we want to do. We're going to look at that now. So for me, the audit is the best place to start, particularly because it explains everything about the business, the problems that they're facing, the opportunities that there might be for automation and placing AI within the business, where it actually makes sense. So if you lead with this, not only do you have the strategy that you need to see these are the things I should solve, but you also have something to show the client where their problems actually are, because sometimes they think it's over there when really it's down there. So by spreading all of this out on an actual canvas that people can see their problems in front of them with numbers attached to it, return on investment, how much time they're wasting, all of the information they need stashed there in a simple audit that you can either, again, based on your experience, offer for free or as a paid for opportunity. As a side note, I've got a whole video on pricing and how to price yourself in the description below if you're struggling to understand how to do that. But another reason that we do this audit is because in discovering all of this information that you can see on the screen now, we walk away with a roadmap of where we should actually be applying AI. For some businesses, that might be blatantly technical. You might need to come in there, rip out a bunch of stuff, go through their business processes and do something technical. But it might also just mean education. And that was the whole purpose of this video, is how to lead with AI education. So I want to frame particularly what we're going to be doing after our audit and focus on how we can mix the education with any of the domain expertise and perhaps some of the technical nature behind it, because then you really have a solid offer to sell to a company. So let's come back to our little worker diagram over here and take our sales guy as an example again. He's got 12 years as a sales leader. So now, long before AI came along, he was the best salesman in his class. He was cutting deals every single day. But then AI made him 10 times better and 10 times faster. So he merged the two together. And now his sole purpose is to go out there and take all of that and put it in a business. But how the hell does he do that? And more importantly, how does he turn it into an offer? Off the back end of this audit that he just did, where he recognized all of the problems the business is facing, not just from a technical perspective, but also a team perspective, he knows the best thing that he could do for his upsell is to not only look at tailoring specific solutions using AI to make the team faster. He knows before he even touches that, he needs to get the team trained specifically in sales so that they can hit their goals without AI. If their baseline sucks, no matter what AI you throw on top of that, it's never going to be any better than where it currently is. So his first goal is to educate them on sales, how to be better salespeople, increase their close rates, get them on cold calls, get their cold calls closing better, whatever goes into that. Once he's brought their baseline up, that's when he starts doing the bespoke implementation for any AI workflows that need to take part. He might do AI education for the team as a whole, how to actually use it every day in a sales team per sales member. You can do group classes within the business, teaching various aspects around how to do this as an AI-enabled salesperson. So we've got the bespoke implementation, we've got the AI Champions program, bringing however many people in their team into there. But then we also have the monthly retainer, because remember, AI changes all the time. So you're not just going to go in there and then leave the business forever. You would want to stick around, and more importantly, they would want you to stay there because the landscape always changes. So after you've done these two things, there's still maintenance, because these people might have been champions when you were there, but their call rates might start dropping again. They might not have adopted some of the tools that you brought into the business. So you need to watch for change management. You need to make sure the things that you have done actually stick. Otherwise, everything you've built is completely pointless. And that's why change management and adoption psychology is so important as a part of this process. I have a video coming out on that very soon. Point is, there are many different angles that you can take in here, and they all feed off of one another just by you being the domain expert and attaching AI to it. The great thing about this, as you can see, is that this entire funnel that we've built is entirely referral based, completely opened without you needing any credibility or stamp of approval from a much larger business. Obviously, in terms of timings and pricing for this, it would depend on the size of the organization. But something to note over here is that for our AI Champions program, this does not have to be something overly long. In fact, if you didn't want to do any of the technical implementation and you only wanted to focus on education, something you could do is like a 5-day workshop. If we look at the 1-day versus 5-day, on 1 day, you can certainly give away value, but as it gets to about the 2 or 3 hour limit, that is the cap for something that is actually meaningful, where people are going to take something home on that day. Those boot camps where they try and get 9 hours of work done and you complete a whole course, it's less realistic. People cannot learn that fast. Not everyone has your brain, and they certainly can't pick up some of the things in AI right now, because they're not only having to learn a little bit about the domain expertise itself, but then also how AI works. So realistically, 1 day is good for those shorter term things. I would say up to 3, maybe 4 hours, absolute max, depending on how technical you're going. But 5 days is more valuable, not just for them, but for you, because you can obviously charge a ton of more money for this, because you're charging for a deep learning experience, plus a lot more that you can actually automate in that time for them. So they would be working with you to automate their own processes. They're doing the technical implementation while you're teaching them how to do it live. In a nutshell, it's an active learning session with coach-led feedback within the business itself, which is extremely valuable for them. More importantly, the team members and the business are going to get outcomes based on this, which is all you ever wanted, right? We want to have behavioral change. We don't just want to have awareness and, hey, AI exists. We want to see it running in our company. And if you can get their employees to do it instead of you having to do it, or instead of their management actually having to think about how do we get this done, you're solving so many problems in one day, which again just increases your value. And then finally on this, I just want to talk a little bit about the retainer model here. I think it's really good to have a tiered approach because it depends on how much you want to give to a specific business versus another one, or how many you want to juggle at the same time. So an essential package might be something that has more async support than it does direct support. You certainly would need to offer at least 1 hour a week where you're talking to these people face to face to answer any direct questions. As we climb up this ladder, that's when you start giving more of your time per week or per month. You might offer them some more build help, helping some of their team build out skills and things like that they need. And as we get into comprehensive, that's obviously where they're paying a lot more for your time. And it's essentially fractional at this point. You would be more embedded in the business. You would understand their processes almost as well as they do. And you would be helping them achieve a specific goal. It's probably going to be measurable over 3 to 12 months. And you would help them achieve specific milestones so that they can measure your quality, but also that you can ensure that they're getting the value that they need over that time period. The great thing about this approach, apart from the money, is that if you can show them that they are getting actionable value every single quarter or month, however you're measuring this thing, it means they're way more likely to keep you around much longer, which is what we want and why we have retainers. And so that's it in a nutshell, guys. It starts with the event. That is the most important thing for you to nail. Even if you're just starting out and you're charging $100 for this event, if you've got 20 people in a room, that's $2,000 for 90 minutes of your time. So it's really lucrative, even if you have nothing right now. Once we've done that, we have the audit or the wedge, whatever it is that we're going to put in between this and the larger offer that we get them into, whether it's a community, whether it's going into the business. The whole point is just using this as leverage to build trust, to get them into this wheel, finally into our retainer model. And out of this retainer model, you become that domain expert because now you will have more stamps of approval of this person helping specific businesses or being an amazing public speaker and showcasing these live events. However you want to frame this thing, I just wanted to give you guys a vehicle to get you there. So I hope this video was helpful. If it was, leave some comments down below. Otherwise, check out the videos on the screen now. They'll definitely help you on your journey. Or you can check out my community where we are doing things like this every single day. See you guys later.